The mirror they won't look into, a poetic reflection on the mechanism of hollow authority. The stage. In ancient halls where sacred texts were kept, a mirror hung that showed what no one sought, not future glory, not the debts they'd swept, but present truth, unfiltered and unwrought. 3 brothers found it in their father's house, each certain that the glass would vindicate his claim to inheritance. The first held out the mirror to the second. See, your fate is written there, the hollow man revealed. The second turned it on the third. Look close, your edifice is crumbling, barely sealed. The third aimed back at first. You're more morose and dead than either. None would turn the glass to catch their own reflection in its face. They'd found the instrument that would surpass all judgment and made it a weapon for their case. The mirror showed a pattern 7-fold, recurring like a fugue in different keys. Each time they looked, they saw what they'd foretold, the enemy performing on his knees. The first showing. See how he dresses, elaborate his robes, the honor that he claims at every feast. His authority is theater. He probes for validation, being hollow as a priest, performing for the crowd, not for the God. They saw this in each other, clear as day. Each saw the other's costume as a fraud, his own as necessary to convey the truth that hollowness required concealing through beauty, doctrine, or emotional feeling. The second showing. He locks the door, they said of one another, and claims the only key is in his hand. One brother saw it in his elder brother, who built elaborate systems, contraband, exchanges, grace for obedience, heaven's light for submission to his intricate control. Another brother saw it burning bright, and younger siblings claim that only whole unmediated access was allowed, but mediated by his proper frame. Each saw the other shutting out the crowd, while claiming that his door was not the same. The third showing. When it succeeds, he takes all credit due. When it fails, the burden flows below. They saw this vampiric revenue in brothers' kingdoms, never in their own. The mirror showed them harvesting the light from subjects while projecting shadow down. But somehow, when they fed upon the bright success, it was their God who wore the crown. The converts grew more rigid than their teachers, more zealous than the source from which they drank. Each generation amplified the features until the pathology was rank. They saw this clearly in their siblings' flocks. The mirror never lied about the other. The fourth showing. He measures mint and cumin to the grain, they said, while swallowing whole camels whole. Perfect in the small, grotesque in the main, concerns justice, mercy, and the soul. One brother saw the other's gilded halls, concealing systematic violence. Another saw behind the other's walls the rot dressed up as intellectual brilliance. The third saw both of them perform their piety while wielding power that Christ would disavow. Each saw the other's moral impropriety Each thought, at least we see through it now. The fifth showing. The tomb, they said, is whitewashed and pristine, beautiful outside, while dead within. They aimed this recognition at the scene their brothers made, elaborate discipline covering decay. The architecture grand, to hide what hollowness had built beneath. Each brother had this vision close at hand, for siblings, never for himself. The wreath he wore was genuine. The other's laurel was painted plaster over rotting wood. This clarity became their moral. We see them truly, and seeing makes us good. The sixth showing. And when they questioned one another's claim, the rage revealed what lay beneath the mask. Who are you to question me? Became the answer that avoided every ask. The mirror showed them this defensive fire, and brothers, how hollow authority attacks the questioner, stokes higher the flames when faced with its transparency. But their own rage? That was righteous, just. Their violence was measured, necessary. The other's fury? Proof he'd lost their trust. The pattern held. What's seen is adversary. The seventh showing. The brothers called each other blind, not for the failure to perceive, but seeing only in rigid categories, with or for, saved or damned, authentic or the phony. Each saw the other trapped in binary thought, unable to hold paradox or nuance. Each certain that this blindness could be fought with their own clarity, and new pronouns of right and wrong, true and false, light and dark. The mirror showed them that their siblings' vision was fatally divided. But the mark of their own sight, that was precision, the serpent recognition. Then one day, staring at his brother's form reflected in the glass, the eldest saw not human weakness, but a serpent's swarm, the ancient pattern, primordial flaw. Your vipers, offering wisdom while delivering death, paralyzing sight with complexity, then consuming with a smile. You promise liberation, then midnight. His brothers turned the same identification back on him. You're the serpent dressed as guide. Your ancient wisdom is just obfuscation. Your sacred tradition, where the poison hides. Each saw the serpent clearly in the other. Each was certain, I'm the one who sees. The mirror held them, brother against brother, all seeing vipers, none seeing the disease. The breaking. And then the voice that had condemned them all cracked open, and a different sound emerged. Not judgment raining down like hammers fall, but grief that from a deeper source had surged. A mother's lament for her children who had taken the blade she gave to cut their bread and used it to divide the world in two, then carved each other till the ground ran red. How often have I longed to gather you the way a hen gathers her chicks beneath her wings, but you would rather pursue the war, the splitting, the ancestral grief. Not roosters crow or eagle's mighty scream, but the humblest image, feminine and small, a mother bird protecting in the stream of violence, offering her body as the wall. The father, they had claimed, had spoken wrath, but here the mother's voice broke through at last. The principle they'd murdered in their path to power, the wisdom they'd expelled and passed as heresy, the gathering, the holding, the nurturing rather than the severing sword. 2,000 years of carefully withholding this recognition. Mother is the Lord. They crucified each time they chose control over compassion, law over embrace. The feminine that might have made them whole was what the mirror showed beneath each face. The mirror lay there, ancient and unmoved, reflecting still what it had always shown. The brothers thought their righteousness was proved by seeing truly what their siblings owned. But here's what none of them could bear to see. The one who aimed the mirror and the one reflected in its silver clarity had always been the same, the father's son, just wearing different masks, performing rage at his own reflection projected out. The judge and judged upon the sacred stage where consciousness divided, wrapped in doubt. The mirror held no preference or side. It showed what's there, not what they wished to find. The 7 patterns that they used to chide their brothers were the patterns of their mind. Even this telling risks the same old game, seeing through becoming new authority. Another way to say, at least I name the pattern, while avoiding the majority of what the mirror shows. That I who write and you who read are also in the glass, also performing, claiming our insight exempts us from the patterns that we pass to others. The mirror doesn't take sides. It doesn't even care that we perceive. It simply shows what hollowness resides in every claim, even the claim to see. The dissolution. The veil was never over truth or world. The kingdom was never locked away. The story of exile that they'd hurled at one another was the only thing that lay between them and what they already were. The mirror showed that them who built the wall was always just the us we couldn't bear to recognize, the shadow of us all. The brothers thought they'd found a weapon blessed to finally prove their case against their kin. But the glass just held them, unimpressed, showing them their father's face within, each face they'd claimed to hate, each hollow mask they'd righteously condemned, each serpent form. The only question that the mirror asked, are you willing to look, to see the storm as you, to let the distinction fall away between the one who judges and the judged, to recognize that every word you say about your brother is the truth you've dodged about yourself, the kingdom hidden here in plain sight by belief in them, the distance just a story, vision clear when finally we see, we are, I am. More content and deeper diagnostic tools are available at the allunknowing.danielryancurtis.com, link in the description.